Yo, what is going on, you guys? Josh Miller here, back on the YouTube channel. Sorry it's been a little while, but excited to be here, excited to be making this video. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I recently bought my red Komodo. I freaking got it. So had a lot of people ask questions like, why did you go with the red Komodo over like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K or like a Sony FX6? And also a lot of people ask questions on certain accessories, like why did you go with the wooden camera V-mount battery plate instead of like the Tilta or the Cora, what's the other brand? I don't know. But so in this video, I just want to go over both of those things, why I bought it, some of the accessories I bought. This is not like an in-depth thing, you know, just my thoughts, my opinions. So let's get it. Okay, so first things first, there's no such thing as a perfect camera. There's no such thing, there never will be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one day. But the reason why, you know, in one of my opinions is because camera makers, camera manufacturers, they have to, you know, keep things fresh, make you want to buy something new. So it's never going to be a perfect camera. And as well as, you know, a lot of people, they fanboy over different cameras, you know, like Canons or Sonys or Blackmagic. You know, they're all tools. They're all tools at the end of the day. And I know one thing's for sure is that this camera will not be like the camera I always use. There's going to be certain instances and certain jobs where I'm still going to need to rent a camera. I don't know, if I'm doing something a little more documentary that needs to be internal ND and great autofocus and be able to plug audio straight into the camera like well in like good quality, I might go with like a Sony FX6. So yeah, but so why did I buy the red Komodo? I have used red for a long time now. It was one of the first cinema cameras that I shot with, and I've just gotten used to red. I've gotten used to the colors, I've gotten used to the workflow. I feel like I understand kind of how hard I can push the footage. I understand how, like, what I need to do lighting wise on set in order to give the sensor what it needs. I'm obviously not perfect at it, but I feel like I've spent enough time with reds that I have a little bit of an understanding of what they like. Another big thing why I bought the red Komodo is I feel like this camera is easy to rig. It's easy to build out. I do not like Blackmagics because they are just so, the pocket cameras, specifically the pocket cameras, they're just so hard to rig. You have to, you know, just where the screen placement is and kind of the body of the camera, it just is weird to me, and I really don't like that of it. Yeah, so really enjoy the Komodo body and how you can easily rig it. The one thing that I hate is I hate these freaking cords. I love red because with their like DSMC2 line, it's like all internal. It can everything just be in the camera. You have no wires or anything. I love that. I know that they're going to do it one day because there's the mount for it. There's the spot for it. Red is definitely going to be having a monitor come out for the Komodo specifically. When that happens, I'm really excited because this will just be very clean and yeah, it's going to be a super clean camera, very small, very clean. I love the fact that I can do internal RAW recording onto a CFast card. Yes, Blackmagics do it, but like the FX6 doesn't. You have to have an external monitor to record RAW. Don't like that. I also really love the Red RAW codec. I feel like it's crazy how good of a codec it is. Next up is I love how small this camera can get, and I love that you can rig it out to as big as you need. You know, with other cameras, again, this is where there's no such thing as a perfect camera. You know, you're gonna have to be giving and taking in different areas. Obviously, with these bigger cameras, you're gonna be getting more dynamic range. You're gonna be getting just better, just a better camera because it's more in, you can just put more in there. You can have internal NDs, super, I would love if Red had that. Obviously, it wouldn't be possible in this guy, but I would love to see how the Sony FX6 has that like electronic ND filter. I don't know exactly what that is. I would love to see something like that in a Red camera. That would be really cool, especially the Komodo. But I love how small you can make this. And like I had to fly it on a little DJI Ronin S a few weeks ago, and it worked great. I just took everything off, just left the cage there, used some Canon BP batteries, and put the monitor down on the side, and it worked freaking good. For some image quality things, I really like the dynamic range that Red has. They claim 16 stops, I believe, with the Komodo, but I've seen some tests and some things, some reviews, and it's more like 13 stops. So it would be sweet if it was 16 stops, but I get it. Again, with this size of a body, it can be hard. And so again, give and take, give and take. And one of the things that I really love about Reds is the highlight roll off. I feel like it just looks so good. I feel like it looks really, really good. So those are some of my top things of, I would say, why I bought this camera over other cameras. Again, like I said, no such thing as a perfect camera. This just works for me. It was at a good price range where I felt comfortable buying it for myself and buying all the parts for it. You know, a lot of people, I had a guy recently on my Instagram post something like, for the amount of money that you spent on the Komodo with all the accessories and stuff, I could buy 3 Sony A7S IIIs, I think, or I can't remember which Sony it was. And well, yeah, you totally could for your circumstances, for your workflow. But for me, as a DP that's trying to grow in the industry and get bigger paying jobs, if you walk onto set, like an actual real set, with a little Sony DSLR, you will get laughed out of the building. First off, the client's gonna be pissed, and your producer's gonna be pissed. Like, just everybody's gonna be pissed. And so you need a camera, you need a cinema camera. You need something that has some meat, because you're gonna be rigging this thing out. You're gonna have somebody pulling focus for you. You're going to have, an audio guy that's gonna be running time code in. You're going to, you need a camera that's robust, that's big, and not a dinky little DSLR. So that's why I decided to buy this instead of a DSLR. You can't beat cinema quality footage. You just can't. I have seen some great footage out of Sony cameras and Canon cameras, like DSLRs and stuff, but a cinema camera just always looks better. It always looks better. It has more of that film look to it, where DSLRs, I feel like they still always have that digital look to them. So that's part 1 of this video. Okay, so as for pieces, I'm gonna run through everything real quick. So obviously Red Komodo. I have the Tilta cage on that. Comes with the Tilta handle and Tilta bottom plate with the rails. These are, I can't remember, small rig fiberglass rails. And then for my monitor, I'm going with the Small HD 702 Bright. It's funny, I bought this end of 2019, I believe, preparing for Komodo. I knew I wanted a big 7-inch monitor, bright monitor. And so yeah, I bought this. Love it. It's a great monitor, has a great image, and yeah, I would eventually like to get the like the Cine 7 that has the camera control built into it. That would be really, really nice. And as well, one of the things that I think will be extremely helpful, because the body of this is so small and you just want to, there's not a ton of rigging space, there's not a lot of real estate on this guy, is getting the one with the Teradek built into it. So then it's just like monitor and wireless video built into one thing, sitting on top, just out of the way. Next up, so I'm using the wooden camera V-mount module on the back here. And the reason why I decided to go with that instead of like the Tilta one or something, first off, I don't like that the Tilta comes in from the side. That's stupid. I don't like that. I like having everything kind of, you know, here, and so then I feel like I can keep balance. And as well as, like, if you had a big battery, it would be sticking out, and then it would be just like awkward for your arm on the side. So love having the battery vertical. And then the biggest reason was I wanted to get the wooden camera B-box module as well, so that I could, again, when you're on set, on a real set, you're gonna be having slates and audio running time code in. And then for batteries, for now, I'm just going with the Core SXW Neo Mini 98 watt hour V-mounts. Love these little guys. I love the screen on the back of it, that you can see how much time you have left. I went with the 98 watt hour because that is the max that you can do for flying with. And I'm actually going to Greece in a little bit, and so I'm gonna be taking this with me, and so be a nice little camera for Greece. Besides that, I also bought a PL mount from Wooden Camera. I want this camera to be, I wanted this camera to be production ready, and a lot of good cinema glass typically is PL mount, so got that. And then for media, I am doing the Angelbird CFast cards. Memory is one of those things that you don't really want to jump out on. Yes, it sucks that it is so expensive, but either you spend the money for good memory cards, or you know, could lose your footage on set, and that's not an option, really. Whenever you're on set and, you know, production is paying for all these people to be here, for talent, for wardrobe, for hair and makeup, for all the crew, for food, for transportation, like just whatever, like you need reliable memory that is not, you know it's going to hold for you. So yeah, I think they're the 512, there's not one in there, 512 gig. Didn't want to get too big because I don't feel comfortable holding too much memory on one card. Didn't want to do like a terabyte because that's just like, that's a lot for one card to hold. And so if you lose one card or something happens to one card and it's like full, that's a lot of footage. So that is my Red Komodo. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Red Komodo. Again, I know it's not a perfect camera. I know, you know, and people are, and if you like Blackmagic's color science, if you like Sony's color science, if you like, you know, different aspects of it, then good on you, man. Like, good on you. Yes, I would love for some things to be in the Red Komodo, like internal ND. Freaking would kill for that. That would be so sick. But for what this is, for, you know, I think all together, the brain, like all of the pieces together, I'm probably sitting at like $11,000 probably. So for 11 grand for a pretty solid, for a red camera especially, super sick. I try not to be too, what's the correct word for it? Like camera excited, you know, because at the end of the day, it's always a tool. It's just a different tool for a different purpose. And the true magic is in lighting. You know, you really do paint with light in what you do as a DP. And so, yeah, I can make better stuff with a little T2i Canon Rebel than some people with a $30,000 Red camera or an Arri Alexa. That's not bragging, that's just, you know, understanding lighting is way more important than the camera. But like I said, as a guy that's trying to further his career as a DP, and you know, whenever I am on set, I'm going to be renting a camera anyways. And so I thought, you know what, why not, instead of like renting from a rental house, why don't I just get my own camera and then it'll get paid off by the gigs that I'm doing, you know? So, Red Komodo, thanks guys, talk to you soon.